Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Thriving Adoptees podcast. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by just me again. Yeah, um, yeah. I've been wanting to do more solo solo episodes, and that's just the way the calendar's going at the moment. You've got more of me. I'm trying to do one a day for you. Hopefully, these shorter podcasts are easier to digest to fit in more with your life. Yeah. So the one I did the other day was about healing. So it's the first one of a three-part series. So the strap line for Thriving Adoptees is healing, empowerment, and inspiration for adoptees. So we've done the healing bit. Yeah, we've done healing in what was it, 20 minutes? And yeah, it's a lifetime's work. Today we're doing empowerment, and the first thing that came to my mind when I thought about empowerment was that kind of grit and determination and the clenching of a fist. Go on, you can do this. That and that somehow didn't feel appropriate to the adoption space at all, and the wounds and the trauma. The next thing that came to me was this idea that, or this statement that knowledge is power. I don't know who said that, but knowledge is power. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, yeah, maybe, but to me, new knowledge has more power, right? Something new, a new idea, a new concept, a new insight, something new, something that we haven't heard of before, something that we may have heard before but have discounted in the past, something that comes to us afresh, something that comes to us out of the blue. So in religious terms, we can talk about epiphanies, or like I've been on courses and had epiphany envy, right? And because I've only had an epiphanette, somebody else has had an epiphany. This one of my mentors, a guy called Michael Neal, talks about the Charlton Heston moments. So he's talking about Ben-Hur or El Cid or one of these really overacted, oh my good Lord, epiphany moments. And then you have an epiphanette, and like, so for me, when they gave me what somebody called the original birth certificate, and it said David Anthony Flower, and I thought, oh, I've had two names. And then I thought a bit later on, well, the truth never changes, so the truth of who I am can't be my name. I'm not my name. That was like a little, what? Yeah, it's a bit disconcerting, right? It's little, that was disconcerting. So new knowledge comes in all shapes and sizes. And what I'm trying to do with the podcast, with the guests I have, is I'm trying to interview them around the new knowledge that they've learned, the new insights that they've had, the new changed beliefs that they've had that have helped them along their learning journey, along their healing journey, along their life, along their life cycle. Is that a word? Because that's what Thriving Adoptees is all about, is insights that I hope will catalyze insights within you. And I don't know, you've heard me say this before, there's no such thing as a second-hand insight. So if I could wrap all my insights up to you and put them in the post, or add them into an attachment on an email and send them to you, I would. But I can't. You have to have them for yourself. There's no such thing as a second-hand insight. So some of the insights that come to me from the guests that we've had on The first one that came to me is had Emma Stevens on the show a couple of times, and Linda Pevac. So Emma Stevens was a pen name. Linda Pevac is her real name. I listened to her autobiography, or her first memoir, and she said something. She said, "We're addicted to thought," and I thought that's genius, because Linda tells the story. Linda or Emma tells the story of becoming an alcoholic, becoming an addict, and then becoming sober, going into, what do they call it? Not remission, that's cancer. Never mind. So she talks about an addiction to alcohol, and she also talks about an addiction to thought. And I thought that's genius, because every human being on the planet, maybe not everybody, but we're addicted to thought. And as adoptees, we're addicted to the thought. A lot of us are addicted to the thought that we're not good enough. I know I was. Not simply not good enough, rejected, tossed away, spurned, put in the reject pile. And so new knowledge is when we realize that we realize our thought addiction, and it changes. We can't change until we're aware. Yeah, we can't change anything about ourselves really until we're aware that we've got a problem. I think that's what they say in AA, isn't it? So talking about AA, another brilliant episode with Pamela Karanova, and she, like, you know, the statistics for addiction within adoptees is huge, right? And she talks about addiction, alcohol, to numb her pain. So she's trying to reduce the pain. She's trying to push the pain away. She's trying to be painless. Right? So she's trying to numb her pain through alcohol. And when she lets her pain in, right, then she had no need to numb it. She got in, you know, people say keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So by bringing this pain in to ourselves, somehow it loses its threat. It loses its painfulness. And the idea that comes to my mind is, what if it's okay to not be okay? What if it's okay to not feel okay? We've become emotophobic, as Mike O'Neill says. We've become emotophobic. We're trying to get rid. We've developed a phobia of our emotions. We're trying to numb them. We're trying to push them away. We're trying to hide them under the carpet. But if we, instead of fearing them, who said it? The only thing we've got to fear is fear itself. Well, that's how I was. I was worried about being worried. I was scared about being scared. I had a severe case of emotophobiia, right? So it's not new. It's not just knowledge that is power. It's new knowledge. New knowledge is power. So, for example, for me, the stunning one, and this is my realization. Okay, so I am not my trauma. Who I am, how I feel, is not who I am. Distance between the essence of me and something I feel. And I guess we're back to that. I talked about pushing our feelings away. When we have a natural separation between who we are and how we feel, who we are and the insecurity, fear, pain, anguish, shame, terror we feel as adoptees. Distance between us, when we see a gap between who we are and the trauma we feel, the distance opens up naturally. We don't push it away. It goes away of its own accord. So new knowledge is power. The idea, try to emphasize, we're not our trauma. But it's not just new knowledge that is power. Sometimes it's old knowledge. That sounds a bit of a contradiction in terms, right? What I mean is knowledge we've had before, but we get at a deeper level. And there is the depth the depth at which we can get our own perfection, our own diamondness. That, you remember, that diamond that's hidden by the trauma that we feel. In my case, I do this shtick with the fist clenched around the diamond, hiding the essence of who I am and who we are, right? I'm not being big-headed. I'm not saying that I'm any different to you. We're all diamonds. Every diamond is a different color. And that diamond is veiled to a lesser or greater extent, different thicknesses of veil, according to how much trauma we feel in any moment, right? So this is it's not just new knowledge that has power. It's old knowledge, stuff that we get at a deeper and a deeper and a deeper level. So I saw a fantastic comment on this. I shared it on my Facebook. It's something like the reoccurrence of old habits is not a sign that you've gone backwards. It's an invitation to learn something you've learned before at a deeper level, at a more profound level. So we can have a change of mind, or more profound than that, we can have a change of heart. I came up with this yesterday, and I love it. Healing is a change of feeling. How about that? Eh? I love a bumper sticker. Healing is a change of feeling, a change in feeling. Or we can instead of that, we can have a change in mind, change in heart. What about change in our very soul, in our essence, in our spirit, in our guts, and embodied understanding? So what we're talking about here with deeper knowledge, not new knowledge, old knowledge at a deeper level, is something that becomes it transitions from theory to practice. It transitions from idea to experience. It transitions from a thought to an embodied understanding, embodied knowledge. So I'll leave you with those two things. Knowledge is power. New knowledge, when our beliefs shift, right? When our beliefs shift, when we realize that beliefs are made out of thought, and they melt like an ice cube in a glass of warm Coke. Right? When everybody talks about mindset, what about mind fluid? our minds become set like concrete with steel girders running through it. We're fixed in our beliefs. This is a fascination of mine at the moment, because in the adoptee world, we talk about so much about trauma and so little about belief. And yet one of the fundamental challenges that we have is this belief that we're not good enough. And what's that belief made of? It's made of thought. Let's bring it out into the openness. Let's get it out of the freezer, like that ice cube, out of the tray, put it in the warm glass of Coke, or Diet Coke, hopefully. It's got less sugar in it, or rot your teeth. The first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about empowerment was actually far, far simpler than anything that I've said so far. And it was when I was a kid and we'd had some new tarmac. They call it blacktop in the States. It's the black stuff that they put on roads, right? And we had our drive tarmac, and somehow a little dandelion forced its way through that blacktop, forced its way through that tarmac, and was pointing its little head above the tarmac, taking in the light. Now, where did that power come from? Empowerment. That empowerment came from what dandelions, as far as I am aware, don't have brains. So that the empowerment didn't come from a new thought, as I've been describing. It just came from the dandelion's inner knowing. The inner knowing, and that inner knowing made this tiny little fragile little flimsy dandelion flower, right, forced through this 6 inches of tarmac or blacktop. That same power is inside you. The nature of the dandelion is the same nature. There's only one nature, right? There's only one nature, and that nature empowers all of us, whether it's a dandelion, whether it's me, or whether it's you. I've enjoyed this. I hope you have too. I guess you're still listening now, so you don't think it's all garbage. Oh, there was a little bit of adoptee doubt there. No, that's just human doubt. No. Thanks a lot, and we will speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.